Today, I'll show you how to modify user access permissions within CloudRadial. Most of the time, we have two distinct sets of users. The user group called Everyone, which includes all basic content that we can greenlight within the feature sets, and admins, those with advanced privileges and access to special content on top of the one everyone can see. However, there's often the need for users that are somewhere in between these two. By modifying user access rights, CloudRadial can give you plenty of flexibility to create different kinds of users as you see fit. Let's start by navigating over to Usage and Users on the left-hand side of the feature sets. Let's look at Ricky here as an example. This logo next to his name here means that Ricky has access to the Partner option of the feature set. This is a powerful option that you only want to give to people that you're comfortable with controlling the CloudRadial tenant. The orange gear in the Admin section means that Ricky is also an admin within the individual account here, the Ricky's MSP client. For more information, let's click on him. The details we first see will give us additional information on what Ricky can do within CloudRadial, like editing content. If we click on Edit, we can change and modify his permissions. Scrolling down his general information, we can see a few different options. For example, we can disable his login to the portal, or whether he's shown in the company directory, or whether he's shown in compliance reports. The company access area refers to the individual company or client we're in right now. For Ricky's MSP, as a client, Ricky has access to all of the features, hence the All Company Access role. That means that he can see any additional options past University on the left-hand side of the feature sets. Changing him to a user would limit his view until University. Note that this is not the same as changing his user group. Making a regular user an administrator is not the same as allowing them admin content permissions. I'll show you what that looks like, so it'll all make sense in a second. The checkbox below will allow Ricky to create and edit content. This is useful if you've got internal company admins and other users that you'd like to edit certain content. For example, an internal admin of a company may want to edit access within university courses so they can create their own. You can even have regular users with access to create their own content, though the use cases for this is pretty limited. There's another option here between the two, but I'll come back to it in a minute. Down below, we also see that there's a partner access area. This is where we can give Ricky access to be a partner and control CloudRadial's content deployment for all clients, not just the one he's part of. If your PSA is synced as well, you'll also have an additional box here to give the user priority when submitting tickets. That's useful in case you don't want to miss tickets put in by certain special users. Now, back to the in-between option I was talking about. Creating a customized power user is easy, but you can go down quite the rabbit hole doing it. Let's explore the options for a regular user. I'll close out of this for this example. Here's Ricardo, which is also me, but he's just a regular user. I'll impersonate him so we can see his typical view. As a regular user, Ricardo only has a few options up until University, and even these are dictated by the initial feature set I set for him. Now let's head back over to the controlling view. I'll click on Ricardo, and I'll go ahead and edit his permissions as well. At the top, you'll notice 4 tabs: User, Access, Groups, and Licenses. User is what we've just been looking at. Access will not be available until a certain option is selected. Groups allow you to add people to certain user groups, like everyone, admin, or any custom one you've built. Licenses are not relevant for this lesson. Back under the User tab, let's make sure Ricardo has administrative access for all company access. Now he can view options in the feature set past University. However, he's still not allowed to create content, and if I don't put him in the admin's user group, he won't be able to see content past that area that's built only for admins. Let's submit this and see what his view changes to. Now, Ricardo here can go all the way down to Account and, for example, view the planner, even though a regular user usually couldn't. Although if you notice, he can't add or edit anything from the top right. Now let's say I want to give Ricardo access to certain things past the typical user view, but not all. If we head back over to him and click on his account, and click on Edit once again, we'll scroll down over to the company role and we'll give him limited access. Now, the Access tab from before is full of options. We can let Ricardo view all company or site tickets from here. We can also build him a custom feature set that suits his specific needs. Just like before, we can add him to different user groups to experiment with his access to build a fully custom access to him. For example, I only want him to have access to usage and only users. Now I'll click Submit. Let's refresh Ricardo's view. There's a lot to it, but be sure to experiment with builds and permissions to deploy out different types of users that work for you and your clients.